Okay, here we have the Turnigy 9X transmitter from Hobby King. My goal was to program 3-position Flaperons, not flaps, using the 3-position switch for my trainer plane fitted with floats. Here we can see normal aileron operation and flap deployment 1, or I should say Flaperon deployment 1. And Flaperon deployment stage 2 with functioning ailerons. Okay, so the first thing to do is to refresh and refamiliarize yourself with channel assignments. So to do that, we'll go to the handy display setting. And remember that channel 1 is aileron, channel 2 is elevator, 3 is throttle, 4 is rudder, all standard. 5 is gear, and 6 is flaps. Now these are important for the internal programming assignments of the transmitter. Now for this plane I am using a 6-channel Hobby King receiver, not the 8-channel Hobby King receiver that came with the transmitter. Now for this system to work, you need to remove the Y harness from the ailerons. Normally you install ailerons into channel 1 and use a Y harness to each of the aileron servos. For this we need to use dual ailerons with one aileron servo going into channel 1 and the other aileron servo going into channel 6 of the receiver. And remember, that's the flap channel. Channel 6 and channel 1 for ailerons. Okay, the next step is to assign a program channel, and so we go to auxiliary channel, and you can see that I've placed channel 5, which is assigned to gear within the program, to the throttle hold switch, which means that this switch here will instigate or turn on channel 5 and all the programming associated with it. The next step is to start with our programming mixes. Mix number 1 is a standard aileron mix. This mixes the aileron channel with the flap channel. And remember, flap channel is channel 6, and that is where we installed our second aileron servo. So whatever the aileron channel input receives, the flap channel or channel 6 also receives. And you can see that the switch setting is on, which means that this mix is always on and is not dependent on a control switch. Okay, we move on to mix number 2. And here we use the gear channel, which is channel 5, as the master, and the aileron channel, or channel 1, as the slave channel. And we have settings here: up rate 0, down rate 100, and switch is set to ID 2. This sets one of the ailerons, whichever one is assigned to channel 1, to deploy when the switch is all the way in the down position, or ID 2 position. Okay, now we need to do the same mix. Remember to exit pressing menu, not exit, to save your settings. We'll go down to mix 3. And this is essentially the same mix. The only difference is our slave channel is flap, which is channel number 6, which controls the other aileron. And the down rate is negative 100, not positive 100. So that it also travels in the down position when ID 2 is thrown. Alright, those two mixes control the ID 2 position switch. We add 2 more mixes for the ID 1 position switch, which are going to be the same concept, just half values. So here we have master is gear, slave is aileron or channel 1, and we can see that the down rate is 50 when set to ID 1. And for mix number 5, we can see master is gear, slave is flap, down rate is negative 50 for ID 1, and that gives us, that first position. Okay, so the last goal here was to add a little up elevator when the flaperons are deployed to provide some stability. Now the amount depends on the flight characteristics of your plane, and obviously things like floats on this case are going to change the way this plane flies, so it may need some field adjustment. Here we see flaperon deployment 1 with a little up elevator, and 2 with a little more up elevator. And we still have control of our surfaces. So to accomplish this, we go back to the transmitter and focus. Pressing menu, we exit mix 5, go down to mix 6. Active, master gear, slave elevator, switch controlled ID 1, and we come down here to the curve. And really the only value we care about in this case is the low point, 35% I set it. These again don't really matter. Press menu once and twice to exit. Do it again for mix 7. Active, gear, elevator, ID 2. And go down to tune. And here we can see that it's at 15%. So that'll give that further elevator deployment. Again, pressing menu once, pressing menu twice, and we can exit back out of our program. Now, you notice the standard or traditional flaperon control is inhibited. It's inactive. We did all this just with programming mixes and did not do flaperons. So once again, there you go.